Did you know that 71% of the people that watch Matthew Kelly's videos are not subscribers? That makes no sense. We need to change that. Subscribe today. Hit that subscribe button, smash that like button, and turn on those notifications so you never miss out on another great video ever again.
Elliot Morris and myself have been out on the road, for at least a couple of years now doing the Passion and Purpose events. And for those of you who don't know Elliot, he's the musician who travels with me, and he's a phenomenally talented musician. And very often I'll do interviews with the media the week before or a couple of weeks before I visit a city, and inevitably they always ask the same question, and the question is that, if people were only going to take one thing away from the Living Every Day with Passion and Purpose event, what would the one thing be? And I always say the one thing is that, God wants you to become a phenomenal decision maker. Life is choices. We're constantly making choices. Scientists tell us that on average we make 35,000 choices or decisions every day. And God wants you to be a phenomenal decision maker. Not a good decision maker, not an average decision maker. He wants you to be a phenomenal decision maker. And if you think about that, I think about that as a father. You know what? I want my kids to be phenomenal decision makers. I want my kids to grow up and make good decisions. I want to do everything I can to teach my kids to make good decisions, to model good decision making in their lives. And so, God's divine dream for us to be great decision makers, once again, is passed on to us as earthly parents. Just like God wants you to become the best version of yourself, and you want your kids to become the best version of themselves. You might never have articulated it that way, but once you hear it, you think, yeah, I want my son to become the best version of himself, or I want my daughter to become the best version of herself, or because it's the divine parenting dream that's being passed down to us as human beings to center our parenting on, to help us to focus our parenting towards some desired outcomes. We're constantly making choices. Are you a good decision maker? Are you a better decision maker today than you were a year ago? And if you're not as good at making decisions as you'd like to be, or as you feel called to be, how are you going to get there? We're probably not going to pick that up just by breathing the air. And so we need some process. We need some way to get there. I think simplifying our lives is a really good way to become better at making decisions. I think questioning, why are we making certain decisions? Sometimes we decide to go to something because we're afraid of missing out. We don't necessarily want to go to the thing, but we're afraid of missing out. Sometimes we go to things because we think if we don't go, people will notice and be critical of us, We do a lot of things because we want people to like us, Our desire to be liked is a very dangerous desire, because the truth is, we want everyone to like us. Even the people we don't like. Seriously. Even the people we don't like, we want them to like us. It's like, listen, I really don't like you, but I have this sick, twisted, demented, psychological and emotional need for you to like me. We want everyone to like us, even the people we don't like. And there's something really messed up about that. And I think it's important that we acknowledge that. You know, and that all comes back to the theme we explored a week or so ago, and that is, what audience are we living our lives for? Who's in the audience? What audience are you living your life for? Because depending on who's in the audience, it's going to have a radical impact on the decisions you make. A radical impact. But if you can get to a place where you say, you know what, I am going to live my life for an audience of one, and God is going to be that audience, and I realize that that is going to upset people, and I realize that some people are not going to be happy with me, and I realize that some of the people who are not going to be happy with me, they love me deeply, they are some of the best people I know, but having an audience of one in God is more important than pleasing even those people. There's an incredible liberation that comes from that. There's a phenomenal liberation that comes from realizing, you know what, I'm going to live my audience for one, and the one's going to be God. And then we become phenomenal decision makers. Because now we're only interested in what God's interested in. Okay, and we're not confused by all sorts of inputs from all sorts of people who have all sorts of agendas on our lives. We just have this audience of one. And we can make our decisions simply by asking, what is it that God is calling me to do at this time in my life?